This is a post of a post that says it is a post. Perhaps related to this image, we have a brand new social media manager being hired for Minecraft, and if you're looking for this role, there is a potential salary of 83 to 167,000 US dollars a year. That is certainly good news for Minecraft's social strategy, which seems like it's consolidated in recent times to having big features released in these snapshots and previews and only be teased about a few days before, so I look forward to seeing those teasers in the future, but it does mean that it's hard to know what's going to come next. However, a really good theory from Guy is that we're bound to see more foliage and ambience in the snowy/colder biomes. We have the warm, cold, and temperate farm animals for each of these variants, and we've updated the more temperate biomes with the bush and the firefly bush, as well as all of the sand ambience, the cactus flower, and the dry grass, so surely the cold biomes deserve the same treatment, and I think this is a really good theory as to what is going to come next. I also think, though, given that the blue egg and the brown egg have their colors described, but the regular egg isn't renamed into the white egg, that maybe that's something Minecraft will do too, although to be fair, it was weird that it wasn't called the chicken egg after the sniffer egg and the turtle egg and the dragon egg, and so not naming it that was probably a smarter name given what we've got to now, but will Minecraft rename it to the white egg? It's a great theory. However, a theory I'd like to come back on and say isn't so great is kind of in response to Artian Set S comment. By the way, this is Q&A Saturday, the weekly series where I answer your questions. Consider subscribing to see more, but Artian Set S says, I know it may be hard to tell from just the images shown, but the cactus in the Badlands update wasn't flowering, it was bearing fruit, the prickly pear. It's a different type of cactus entirely, with flat pads that jut out instead of a single or multiple thick cylindrical stalks. They do flower, but not for long, and they don't look like that. And honestly, I think I would like to say it's always easier just not to address these things and you can get away with it, but I want to be entirely truthful with you. It's something that's important for this channel. I think after re-examining it, I can actually see what he's saying, and I think I might just agree. Indeed, if you look at the cactus flowers we have now and compare them to this image of Jeb being prickled by one, it actually might be something that is meant to be prickly here, and so maybe it is, like that this was not the same feature. I already said in that video it was less than a 50% chance. I think it might be an even lower chance if Minecraft does not consider what they just added to be the same feature from here. However, if that is true and Minecraft decided to add another brand new feature coming from nowhere that just happens to share the same placement and same color, then it raises the question of why didn't they take their idea from the previous Mesa biome? Why didn't they say that, yeah, actually we said we were going to add all of these at some point and they're perfect ideas for now? I think that it raises the big point that, yeah, at the time Mojang did say that every mob vote loser would be added to the game eventually, and I think that they basically said that as a bit of a fudge, right? They later had to clarify they meant the ideas library, but even now, they should have looked through the ideas library and thought, oh, we're updating these biomes to add some more life to them, we have all of these great ideas already, but they didn't do precisely that, which then makes it seem like, yeah, the obvious point that I think was clear to anyone looking was that what Mojang really meant when they said, we will update the mob which is voted for first, but we won't throw away the other ideas, they will be updated eventually, is effectively, here's the idea we're actually going to care about and put lots of thought into, and the other ones we're just not going to rule out like we did the first time. You can call this a mincing of the words, you can call it a half-truth, or you can be honest and you can say that the reason the truth is so important is because half-truths and protecting people's feelings seems like a really great idea, and when you don't know people for that long, it actually might be, but when it comes to the long run, and the Minecraft community is one of those that's in it for the longest run, it creates all sorts of issues when you have these little lies that you use to keep up appearances, and that's why you're probably better off not using them. And that's why I built this lovely cheese-shaped block of fletching table blocks, because someone suggests that maybe the fletching tables would be used for cheese, because we know that Minecraft are trying to add the features that they said that they would add at some point, and also we know that that includes the fletching table. I don't know if Mojang considers it to or not, but also we know that cheese is one of those leaked items. The fireflies did eventually come true, meaning that John has been correct on every prediction except for cheese so far, and so will cheese actually come to Minecraft? I think if it actually did, it'd be a much simpler recipe, right? It would be put your milk bucket in the furnace, you can shift click it right in there, and you would get cheese out of it. This is the closest thing to the real world process. I don't imagine it's going to be something to do with the new sheep, although if it is something that just relates to cows, why don't we have it already? We have all these fun new cow variants, and also this very old cow variant. Why can't we do something with this to make cheese from it? And the answer is, I don't actually have a great answer. But what I do have an interesting answer to is Robcat makes a very good point here, which is in relation to the unique cape for Minecraft Live. So let me show you my dressing room. This is okay. It's a good Minecraft video. I'm going to show you my dressing room, and it's not going to get us in any trouble because here is the name of the MC Experience Cape. As you can see, it's not called the MC Experience Cape Houston or the MC Experience Cape 2024 like the Minecon capes are, and so maybe it is that if you go to any Minecraft experience, you'll get this exact same cape. I think that this is actually highly likely, and so something to keep in mind. And so when OW Safe says, me and my sister plan on going to London for the experience, the ultimate goal is the cape, but it will be a fun day out too. Just keep in mind, you probably are getting this cape right here. Also keep in mind that if you go on the very first day, is it April the 6th? But the very first day of the Minecraft experience, my intention is to be there somewhere around the evening. We could talk about the time more precisely later, but like 4-ish PM, let's say. And so if you want to say hi, feel free to. I will be if you've ever. I feel like this is the first time in literally most of a decade that there's been a real Minecraft in-person event that is on my continent too. I guess literally a decade since the last time it was on my continent through Minecraft, Minecon, I should say. And so yeah, if you want to come and say hello, you might see me. Also, my editors Harrison and Ash will be there too, so you can come and meet us all. It'll be a lot of fun. Speaking of things that are a lot of fun, it's finally time to talk about vertical slabs. This is what the community wants, as this hugely upvoted post on Reddit seems to suggest, and indeed, I think it's related to Jedi is Ready's comment here, who says, high ambition can lead to ruining something great, but avoiding ambitions and not wanting to, as you said, rock the boat can get the same result. Mojang has definitely been the latter for years now, and I want to respond to this one frankly and say that I think that Mojang shouldn't be above criticism. Of course we should be allowed to criticize them, but also I don't think all criticism is valid, and saying that they are trying to avoid rocking the boat isn't quite right. You might have been able to say that from 2020 to 2023, and if they'd remained making one update every year, staying to the same formula, then I would say, yeah, that's just being able to cash a paycheck and keep the game going for as long as its fans will let it. But they've gone through some serious shakeups recently, the biggest one being the move from updates to drops, and sure, on the surface, drops are just more regularly releasing updates, but now they're taking much bolder themes for these drops, and an example of this is the current one right now. If you were in a meeting and you suggested, hey, what if we take a full 3 months and we focus on small details such as new flowers or new types of chickens? I saw Wattles got a lot of people using his post as a way to get a lot of hatred by being like, wow, why are you excited for these chickens? They're literally just retextured. But it's weird, even though they sound like they wouldn't be exciting, people are absolutely loving it. And so this is an update which is in no way a smart idea. No one would have asked for it, and indeed, if you were to ask me, was this a good idea? I would have said no. If you really want to have a fan favorite update and have a easy hit it out of the park, you go for all of the community favorite features. Vertical slabs are a big community want, as people consistently will remind you, but even though vertical slabs seem great, they are wonderful in the short term, but take away value from the game in the long run. Although, pro tip, if you want to have vertical slabs, you can actually sort of have them right now. Don't let anyone know about this, but all you need to do if you want to have the closest thing we can have to a vertical slab is just use a wall when being surrounded on all sides, and it sort of looks like a vertical slab. It just takes up the middle portion of a block rather than the corners, and so yeah, if you really want to, you can kind of have slabs right now, and again, without any of the sides being visible, it's basically impossible to know that this is a wall and not just a funky vertical slab. So, I don't know, building tips of Toycat. This is the last place you should be expecting to see those, but also, speaking of the last place you expect to see it, in case you're thinking that the cheese I have in my inventory is a hint right now, it's not actually cheese, this is a potato. Don't worry, it's nothing to do with cheese. But it's weird because a lot of people do want to cheese the Minecraft building systems and indeed some of the fundamental rules of the game. I kind of spoke about it this week when we were talking about guns, but there are some rules in Minecraft which are so fundamental and maybe should be questioned every now and then. However, it's really easy just to say, yeah, what if we throw all of these rules out so we can have one exciting update? But one exciting update that would ruin future ones is a bad move. That is one of the hardest things to work out with Minecraft. How do you have these big updates which then can be built on in the future? As an example, I think the Warden and the Ancient City are much more exciting places with much more to build on than the Creaking was in the Pale Garden. The Pale Garden getting new features feels wrong. It feels like it's just the domain of the Creaking now, whereas the Ancient City has those skulk, those weird mystical cucumbers, but it has lots of different items which make you go, I wonder where that's going. And of course, how could we forget the big portal, the big thing in the center of it all, and I have my own theory about what should come from there, and actually, you'll be able to see it when you check out the IBX More Bosses add-on. It's coming really soon, the Tuesday after next. I'm very excited about it. But yeah, if you have enjoyed this video, please do consider liking and subscribing. If you don't know, I just had a heartbreaking setback in my most recent hardcore world, which means now my oldest hardcore world is the Igloo one, and so if you want to see a catch-up of the run so far, it'll be tomorrow, and then the next big stream we're doing in hardcore will be above Y200 only. It's gonna be a lot of fun, but I guess to finish this one, we should say, do you think that Cheese is likely at this point? Do you think that John has hit so much that it's very unlikely he's missing? Or do you think that no, the cheese is just something that they had an idea of, they're not going to implement it? Or do you think that somehow sheep and cheese are going to tie in perfectly together? I have honestly no idea. But I'm looking forward to finding out next week. Bye!